All right, welcome to Chalky Podcast. My name is Sebastian.
Jose, guys.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. As you can see, we changed a little bit of the lighting. I'm experimenting, so hopefully we get some good angles with the cameras. Today we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about, Jose?
Trucker myths.
Trucker myths. So some myths that people repeat, and we just wanted to maybe talk about some of them. Are they true? Are they not true? Why people talk about like that? And so we'll see. We got a list prepared, and we're gonna just run down the list. But shop update. What do we have going on at the shop other than the SCR?
We're doing the out of frame now.
The out of frame, yeah, which we'll drop in some videos there.
Yeah.
But what about the
SCR?
The SCR.
Yeah, we have a DD15 with the SCR low efficiency.
Mm-hmm. And you tested it yesterday. Can you take us back? Like, what happened with the complaint? What was the customer looking to do?
Well, at first complaint was no power and a lot of smoke. We ran some diagnostics, and the intake throttle valve was staying stuck closed, so it wasn't opening up. On the DD15, it's really simple to find out if it's working or not. It opened the ignition, and it's supposed to cycle. You're gonna hear it open and close. Did that, nothing. Hooked up the laptop. Tested it, same. It wasn't working, so we put a new one on there. Regen was working fine. It wasn't. It was coming. Boost pressure was coming in now. It wasn't reaching temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So the seventh
injector.
Yeah. So we replaced that. It finally did the regen, and we had the code with the SCR efficiency low.
Okay.
So now we're gonna pull out the dozer, the DF dozer, and inspect it, see what it looks like right there.
Yeah, and then put a new SCR if needed.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, perfect. We'll shoot some videos around that.
We got a flywheel housing on a Series 60.
Mm-hmm.
It was leaking really bad.
Yeah. We
got a tow truck with ECU issues.
That's electrical that Tom's working on. What I think
a Mercedes
engine. Yeah. And it's I think we're ordering
parts for it right now.
Yeah.
Someone replaced someone replaced a compressor at another shop, and the issue started after the compressor was replaced.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking, what did we order? Did we order, because I know the harness we switched already. And
no, we didn't replace the harness.
He fixed it then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He found some bad wires.
We were considering getting the harness. I think we got it, but we didn't put it on. He fixed it, and now the ECU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll hook it up today and see what happens. All right, let's go to trucker myths. You want to start off this one?
Yeah. So truckers are irresponsible on the road.
Again, I think truckers are irresponsible on the road. No, I don't think so. Spending a decent amount of time behind the wheel, I think it's definitely, you'll see some crazy drivers. And since there's driver shortage, and I do air quotes because I don't think that's the case right now. You're always gonna have guys, people are people, and you're always gonna have some crazy guys.
Yeah.
And yes, I've had on my team some irresponsible drivers, and they had to go, but that's definitely a generalization. That's not really accurate. If anything, I think truckers are
more responsible because you have more responsibility as a CDL.
Yeah, holder, and,
correct.
And that also goes to a personal vehicle, but at the same time, I think pro guys that really take pride, and I really believe strongly there's a lot of pro guys that love what they do and take pride in their work. They just have it takes such awareness around a truck,
right,
when you're driving a combination vehicle, and normal drivers just don't understand that. They think they can do crazy things around semi trucks, and then you see the crazy accidents because it's very hard to stop an 18-wheeler, and just regular drivers don't realize that.
No, they don't realize that. No.
And the number one thing I can probably add is distractions with the phone. Like, you drive a truck, And yeah, truck drivers also do that, and that should never be allowed. Not only allowed, but it should be definitely a big thing for officers to fish out on the highway, right? If
distracted
semi truck
driving,
driver
yeah.
is texting or playing with his phone,
Yeah.
no, that's not allowed ever. That's very dangerous. And when you're looking down on regular cars, every other car
Doing
on the
makeup
phone
or
or something, it's
yeah.
crazy. You and I, it's unbelievable. But yeah. So next one, drivers earn low income. I totally disagree with that. I think if you understand what type of if you know what you're getting yourself into as far as the type of running, if you obviously want to be home every day, you're doing maybe 50 miles a day and work 6, 7, 8 hours, and yes, that you're not gonna make a lot of money.
No.
But again, we should start. What is low income, right? Like,
what is average that a truck driver makes? Or
in general, what's a low income for any person that does anything? $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
Or even less.
I think even less.
Even less, like 35.
Because right here in Chicago, what the minimum is, I think it's like 13.
Yes, I think
In some places.
Yeah, but I'm at an annual level. I'm thinking,
if you're only working 40 hours,
yeah, I would say
25.
Let's agree
35.
on $25,000 as low income, right? And you can very easily make double that. So no, I don't think truck drivers.
As long as
if
you
you're
have
willing to work and run,
dedicated.
you can make really good money.
Yeah, have a goal for yourself. If you want to make the money, you're gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Only men are truck drivers.
Majority, yeah, it's definitely a majority. I think it's a job that definitely women can do very well, and I've had women. I do still have women drivers, and
yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I really think in some cases women are a lot more careful.
cautious. Yeah.
But I wish we saw more women in trucking. I think it's the reputation that
it's a dirty
prevents some of them to get into that. But I feel like obviously there, the percentage wise, it's not, there's not a lot of women truck drivers versus men, but I certainly would want to see more.
How about like female drivers as in flatbed? That would be like,
yeah,
that's a tough job, right?
Yes,
strapping down.
And I have somebody lined up for a podcast interview.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. It's we'll lock it in, and it's gonna be dropping in. I'm not sure when it's gonna go live, but I have everything lined up already. So, next,
truck drivers cause accidents. That's going back to the same being irresponsible.
Yeah. I think it's not only not true, it's
more of the motorcycles, they just fly right by you or doing crazy.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the severity of a accident with a semi truck, right? Because you're literally wiping out cars when you lose control over a big rig. So if you have an accident that involves semi truck, and the driver and look, being in trucking for some time and having my drivers, and we've had our share of accidents. A lot of those guys get out of the accidents like pros, right? And I'm not saying they don't get themselves there in the first place, maybe by distraction, but once something like that occurs, I've had some situations in my experience where the drivers did really good getting out of it, right? Not flipping the rig, not killing people, not getting because that's ultimately everybody's fear is like, shit, I wiped out a car. And that's the problem that I have going back to regular cars and how they behave around a truck, right?
Yeah.
That's what causes the in my opinion, when you have speed difference, that's
The
something
acceleration and the stopping.
Yeah, but
stopping distance.
think about a normal car. When you have a speed limit on the highway, let's say 65 is the average for a semi, or 65, 70, right?
Yeah.
On the same highway, you have a car going 80. And the speed difference, usually they go a lot more if
Yeah.
it's even 80, right? So then the speed difference is when something happens, the cars drive a lot quicker. That's when issues start to occur, because now things happen so quickly that if you had at least everybody lined up somewhat within the same speed, then
It'd be more controllable, avoidable.
Yeah, but just because of the speed difference between normal cars, and they think they can do better, squeeze in faster, or do crazy stuff. That's I think is one of the reasons that
why there's more
crazy accidents occur sometimes on the highway that otherwise could have been avoided.
Yeah, because majority of the accidents are with commercial vehicle. Commercial vehicle and a passenger vehicle. Very rarely do you see like two commercial vehicles, two semi trucks. Only in situations like
bad weather,
correct? Jackknifing, stuff like that.
Yeah, and since we installed cameras in my trucks, and my entire fleet has cameras. I've been looking at some of the footage, and it's like, man, the crazy things I see that regular cars do, unbelievable. Especially passing like B roads, kind of 2-lane running. It's just crazy stuff. And then I had a situation when one of my drivers was on a B road, a 2-lane, trying to pass. I don't know if I showed it to you. I think we have it actually on the channel somewhere as an opener. Yeah, and he couldn't make it, so he went to the left side ditch, lost control, shoulder then ditch, lost control, flew over the road to the right, and then flipped 5 times on the right side in the field. Crazy stuff, But we could definitely talk. I could talk more about what I've seen. It's just unbelievable. But truck drivers
don't spend
time at home.
Yeah.
Again, OTR versus regional versus local.
Yeah.
Right. OTR, yes. That's definitely what's keeping some drivers
from going that route.
Going into truck driving is
especially with a family.
Mm-hmm. But you can make really good money. So. Depends on what your motivator is and what do you want to do with your life. But there's, especially in our region, I think regional 5-day running, kind of out and back, 2-3 days out is there's a lot of options like that, right? And you still
plenty
home at over the weekend. So generally, yes. Truck drivers don't spend time at home, but it also depends where you live. Because if you're in the middle of nowhere and you now go OTR, then your possibility of coming back home for the weekend is very slim.
Yeah, correct.
Next.
Truck drivers are uneducated. False.
Yeah. It's...
Well, it all depends on the person, too. If they really... Let's say you're not just there for the money or just because it's a job.
Yeah.
What if you want to keep learning more of the trucking industry and keep growing, not just stay as a driver, then you want to move up as a owner op and
treat it as an opportunity for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if you think about just general education, right? Like uneducated, what does that mean? I mean, college degree or high school, or what is that?
What exactly are
what are we talking about? Like not a lot of maybe guys have college degrees, but I really think college degrees right now in general are starting to undergo revolution as far as how people are not only learning but the value proposition from a college, right? And I was fortunate to go to college, but the value proposition of what you actually pay to go to college and what you get out of it is way off. And that's a different topic. But I think as far as education, look, one of the best things for me was when I was driving was audiobooks. I went through a lot of audiobooks just because I don't talk to people over the phone. I think it's a waste of time. I would just listen to audiobooks, 3-4 audiobooks a week, you would run through them like that, and that's you could say somebody's getting educated through that, or podcasts, or anything that gives you, whether you do it for entertainment, that's one thing, but if you do it for educational reasons, I've met number of drivers educating themselves about real estate, about mechanics, whatever their interest is. They're literally using that time to listen to those.
Yeah, while you're driving down the road,
books,
learn something.
Yeah. So, in the general sense, uneducated, maybe college degrees less than that's not a norm. But again, I think there's the opportunity to learn as you're driving a semi truck is amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're multitasking, right? So I always like that. All right, next one.
Only concerned about getting to the destination fast.
I've seen that one multiple times. Yes, if somebody wants to be home again, that's what happens. Or when you were rushed with
Time,
hours of
appointment.
service. Yeah, time appointment one thing, but
hours of service too.
But broker tells you, hey, you got to be there by certain time. Yeah, but and then you're flexing your hours of service. But at the same time, what's the reason behind getting to destination fast? I mean, if you're OTR, you're moving to the next destination to make more money. If you're regional, you want to get home.
Yeah.
Right. So that's I think, I don't know. Everybody would like to be maybe a little bit faster in moving goods, but again, safety.
Safety first. All they do is sit and just drive and.
Yeah, well, it's the nature of the job. Yes, it's a lot of sitting, but I think that's something that should be addressed more, and hopefully we'll get to that point where we could talk about health and wellness in general. Yeah, because it is, and I've felt it is a lot of sitting, and it's something that more awareness around what it does to your body and how you should then compensate for that, right? How you should move around a truck. There's plenty of stuff that online that's there, but I still think it's the driver's responsibility to come up with the way of moving and keeping themselves moving.
Like if the weather is if you have good weather while you're unloading, take a quick walk while you get unloaded.
You know what I used to do? I would be taking a break at a gas station, refilling, and then as I was eating lunch, I was walking around the truck or walking around the truck stop. Yeah, which it saved me time, obviously, because I didn't
have to go to a gym or.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was more about I wanted to get to the destination, and kind of every time I had a break, I would have spent it walking at a rest area or a truck stop. But when I was taking lunch, I was also eating and walking when I was eating lunch. Yeah, because I knew I needed to compensate for that 4 hours that I was just sitting.
Right.
And that's hard, man, because that's a lot of energy drinks, coffee, all that stuff that messes you up, and then you don't move. And I think health and wellness should be on at least on our list to maybe try to create more content around that, so we can help some guys out. All right, last one.
Anyone can be a truck driver. Sure, as long as you're over 18 and you're
not over 21 still.
No, it's 18. You can get your if you're going to be local.
Local, yes.
Local.
Yes,
but,
you're right. Like interstate.
21. Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
Also, if you're clean, no drugs.
Yeah, that's another thing with.
So anybody could be a truck
weed
driver.
being legalized in every state now. It's going to be an issue, but that's why you have the clearinghouse. But anyone can be a truck driver as long as, it's available to anybody to do the training and go. But the awareness around the rig and how you feel with a vehicle is something that you can see even in people driving normal cars.
Yeah.
Like some are better, some are not. Right, so you should be able to arrive at a conclusion. Hey, is this really, I want to
job for
try
me?
it, but can I really feel the rig? Some
Yeah.
guys do it better than others. But yeah, certainly anyone can be a truck driver, but that doesn't mean they're going to be good at it.
Right.
Right. And a good truck driver is a safe truck driver. So if you have, I've seen some stuff that I drove teams for some time, and I've seen drivers doing crazy things with me in the cab, thinking they were really good drivers. So, it's double-edged sword. You just have to be aware of maybe what can you do with the truck. But one I remember, it was to close it out, it was so annoying. We're driving to our destination, and I feel the cab just doing this all the time, just rocking left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was like, what are you doing? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, do you look at your steering wheel? And he was doing this all the time, just kind of constantly correcting left and right. And
Right.
it was summer. It was not even if it was winter, it doesn't even matter. He was constantly correcting. And I'm like, can you feel how the whole cab is shaking? It was actually making motion, like, feel sick. And I was like, dude, I can't do that. Like,
Don't
just
pull over, dude.
yeah. And I was just like, and then he was better at it. He corrected it. But he was like, nobody ever told me that, and I've been driving teams for a long time. I'm like, it's shaking the whole cab, and why are you constantly
Now imagine
correcting?
that with doubles in the rain.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and we were pulling doubles, but
Yeah.
and it was just unnecessary because I don't know, maybe he was trying to compensate for the cab movement on the airbags or something. But anyway, I think that's it for today's episode. Leave a comment. Let us know what you would like to hear more about, and any ideas, topics. Subscribe, share, and talk to you soon.